Good evening and thanks for joining us on the 6:30 p.m. edition of News on My Media Prime Television. We're beaming live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. My name is Fon Quinter. Begin today's edition of Prime News in the West region, where an estimated 3,600 cartons of expired drugs have been uncovered in Bafoussam by custom officials. In the same light, 5 tons of non-biodegradable plastic products have been destroyed in Limbe after being discovered at the boat of Nolinga. Took interest in these stories and compiled the following report for Prime News.
Not all deaths are caused by natural hazards, as there may be artificial reasons as to why people end up being declared dead. This is the West Regional Headquarters of Cameroon, Bafoussam. Situated behind the city's main market is this illegal pharmaceutical company specialized with the rebranding and extension of medicinal expiry dates. But like they say, 99 days for a thief and just 1 for the owner. So too have these authors of the clandestine activity been intercepted by the West Regional Delegate for Custom Duties alongside team. After being informed of their activities, more findings from the team reveal the perpetrators have been extending drug expiry dates as far back as 2013 up to 2022 or 2025 in worse terms. More than 3,600 cartons of medicines were found in their possession, as confirmed by the authorities on ground. Instantly, the package was destroyed. On a similar note, custom officials around Limbe, precisely at the Bota Wharf, have also halted the entry of 5 tons of non-biodegradable plastic products coming into the country by water. The plastic elements were also destroyed with immediate effect owing to the negative effects they have on climate change, the environment and the ozone layer. Plus the fact that for a good number of years now, the government of Cameroon has been battling with the spread and use of non-biodegradable plastics in the country.
Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Dion has inaugurated the newly constructed Ebolova Regional Hospital Center. Mr. Dion was received by the Regional Governor of the South Region, Felix Ngelengele, yesterday, December 2nd. Katrina Kongwe completes the story.
On day 1 of his visit to the South Region, Prime Minister Head of Government Chief Dr. Joseph Dion, under the instruction of the Head of State President Paul Biya, is in the South Region to inaugurate the Ebolova Regional Hospital Center. At bus stop, the Prime Minister is received at the entrance of the town by the South Regional Governor Felix Ngelengele, alongside other state officials and a cross-section of the population. His visit begins with the inspection of the Guard of Honor, followed by an exchange courtesy with a constituted corps of the South Region. Joseph Dion, alongside entourage, heads to the Ebolova Regional Hospital Center, presiding over the inaugural ceremony. With today marking the first day of the inaugural ceremony, the center is expected to change the face of the medical care of the population. The center is expected to change the face of the medical care of the population of the South Region and also the neighboring countries. The newly constructed hospital has been equipped with the state-of-the-art medical facilities and personnel to provide quality health care for patients.
The President of the Regional Council for the Far North Region, Daniel Karl Basu, and stakeholders involved in the development process have taken firm commitment to give the region a facelift. This was at the end of his working visit to all 6 divisions that make up that region. Get full details in the flow report. Working hand in glove with the population and boosting socio-economic development in the Far North region of Cameroon are top on the priority of the President of the Regional Council for the Far North region, Daniel Karl Basu. He was speaking after a working visit to all 6 divisions that make up the Far North region, with a list of development activities to kickstart in Diamere division. Priority is development, also the dynamism of the population. The second element is agriculture, both production and transformation. Another aspect is of various services. We are talking about commercial and transport services. His tour in the region was an opportunity to meet with stakeholders and brainstorm on better ways to improve living conditions of the population.
On a d'autres activités à développer.
We have other activities to develop. If we really want development, I think that the Amarela Vision has all it takes. There is enough land, volunteers and others.
Il a la volonté et il a l'université ici.
Welcomed by the horsemen, the president of the regional council and other stakeholders involved in the development process took firm commitment to give the region a facelift. In few weeks to Christmas, our reporter Bokengo Wadi caught up with some parents and business persons in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. She sought to find out from them how they are preparing for the upcoming feast. Her report.
It is the season of merriment and delight. The month of December is considered the month of feasting, celebration, partying, Thanksgiving, eating, and many more. However, many parents say this year seems a lot tough and preparation for Christmas seems not to be part of their to-do list.
I am not ready. Things are really difficult this year. I am really not ready. Even business is really very slow with prices that have gone up. It is difficult for every parent. If every parent is going through this difficulty, I would say that even they themselves are not ready.
Business persons say the Anglophone crisis together with the COVID-19 pandemic have made business difficult as prices for goods have increased, especially this month.
Before the crisis, things were still better, but when the crisis came, it became worse. Because at first, they will bring Irish potatoes, beans from Bamenda. Now nothing is coming in.
This year is a difficult year. We really don't know how we will manage. Things are really hard this year. We really don't know how we'll manage this December. Maybe things will change as the month unfolds. But for now, I am not thinking of Christmas preparation. Especially as prices for everything has gone up. I am really not thinking about Christmas preparation for now. I have not even started anything regarding Christmas preparation.
Nonetheless, the spirit of Christmas is fresh and high in the minds of children as well as their expectations.
I want that they should buy me Christmas things, my Christmas clothes, my Christmas shoes. I also want that they should buy me bicycles, skateboard. They have buy me this toy, Spider-Man bike, Batman car, and Ninja Warrior.
I love Christmas because I'll have new clothes and shoes and a chicken. I want clothes, shoes, toys, and to be able to have fun and play with friends.
Through the highs and lows, December is said to come with a lot of joy, peace, laughter, strength, forgiveness, sharing, gifts, love, and delicious delicacy of all kinds, whether or not one is prepared.
Today is commemorated as International Day of Persons Living with Disability. The day highlights the challenges, barriers, and opportunities for persons with disability amid COVID-19 pandemic. Nora Kakebi completes the story.
National Day of People with Disability is celebrated every December 3rd each year. It was instituted by the United Nations with the aim of increasing public awareness, understanding and acceptance of people with disabilities. United Nations Chief Scribe Antonio Guterres has reaffirmed UN's commitment to work with people living with disability and for every society to encourage this group of persons.
We are determined to lead by example. On this International Day, I reaffirm the commitment of the United Nations to work with people with disabilities to build a sustainable, inclusive and transformative future in which everyone, including women, men, girls, and boys with disabilities, can realize their potential.
According to the World Health Organization, over 1 billion people across the globe have some form of disability, and majority live in developing countries, and they are among the most marginalized groups with poorer health outcomes, less economic participation, lower educational achievements, and higher rates of poverty than people without disabilities. The theme for this year, Fighting for Rights in Post-COVID Era. The World Health Organization boss, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, says the organization is committed to support all countries to get equitable access to health services for those living with disability, as well as creating a safe haven for all.
Today, we call for a world in which everyone, including those with disabilities, have access to the health services they need. It's especially important that policymakers engage with the disability community during health emergencies like the COVID-19 pandemic. In times of crisis, people with disabilities may experience increased barriers accessing health services and in observing public health measures. They may also face increased risks due to underlying health conditions, losing access to social and assistive services, and the impacts of isolation. WHO is committed to supporting all countries to increase equitable access to health services for all people with disabilities and to creating a healthier, safer, and fairer world for all.
As governments and the international community continue to battle the COVID-19 pandemic, it is important that disability inclusion is central to health system planning, development, and decision-making.
To education, the Catholic University Institute Bonaberry campus today held the matriculation ceremony for its students for the 2021-2022 academic year. The ceremony aims at officially welcoming freshmen into the institution. Joy Ngang attended the ceremony and compiled the following report.
First of its kind since the creation of the Bonaberry campus, the Catholic University Institute of Boya today, December 3, 2021, officially welcomed its freshmen and swore the oath of professional code of ethics for the sophomore year students of the institution.
For the students, it is important to inform them that finally the Catholic University Institute of Boya has its own permanent campus in Douala, Bonaberry, Douala. So all the hassles and all the problems which they encounter at the Bonamus study, make sure that those problems, those hassles do not exist here. And partly because of this reason that we have decided to provide 30-seater bus for the students on the Douala campus.
While addressing the students during the convocation ceremony, the president of CUIB called on them to uphold the moral standards of the institution, emphasizing on the technical innovations it has made so far.
The admission of this batch came along with the COVID-19, which made it difficult for us to have on-site classes 100%. So this batch has to do with online teaching and on-site teaching. See, what we have to do is to ensure that the learning and teaching environment is good. We have to intensify industrial visits.
The matriculation ceremony, which was both religious and administrative, was graced with the presence of a guest speaker, a professor emeritus, who enlightened the students on major steps towards success.
Of the university in terms of environment, because it is the character formation that determines the degree of quality that they would have acquired coming to this university, and their parents paying fees and paying. The community is dedicated to that.
A a message well received by the students.
It's been a good day and I feel very fulfilled and very happy to belong to this school. And the guest speaker spoke so well about what it means to be a student and to the aim of the school, how we are going to achieve that. So she encouraged us to be honest, she encouraged us to be diligent in our studies, she encouraged us to be courageous.
With the swearing of the convocation oaths and the signing of the matriculation register, all students present at the ceremony are thus admitted officially into their various areas of specialization.
And the official handover ceremony of the Yaoundé Olympic Stadium scheduled for today, December 3rd, has been pushed to a later date yet to be announced. This is contained in a communique signed by Professor Narcisse Melekombe, Sports and Physical Education Minister. Eileen Sama has details in this report.
The construction works or technical operations are still being carried out on the Yaoundé Olympic Stadium in the nation's political capital this December 3rd, 2021, a date scheduled for the handover ceremony of the Paul Biya Stadium to CAF and the general public. Magnificent edifice program to host the opening ceremony and opening game of the 2021 AFCON tournament to be hosted by Cameroon in January 2022 will be presented to the public on a date later to be announced by the Cameroonian government, according to Sports and Physical Education Minister Professor Narcisse Melekombe. This information is contained in a communique signed by the sports boss yesterday, December 2nd, 2021, a day before the initial date set to present the sports complex after the country had failed to do so on November 30th as earlier stipulated by CAF. Professor Narcisse Melekombe explained in the communique that this is due to some technical operations still ongoing on the Olympic Stadium, adding that the official handing over ceremony of the sports complex at Olembe and next season Yaoundé will be done on a later date to be communicated. Everyone out there now very anxious to receive the expecting news of the season must thus exercise patience for a few more days.
We've come to the end of today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime Television. Coming up at 7 p.m. is Prime Hour with Leonard and his team from Tex Global. Have a great evening in the company of more programs on the African Eye. Have a nice weekend. Bye.